Thanks, Amanda. The city is providing another round of rent and utility assistance to Chicago landlords and renters. The Emergency Rental Assistance Program provides grants of up to 12 months unpaid rent and 3 months of future rent payments. Tenants who apply must have earned less than the maximum household income listed here during 2020 or at the time of application. By August, the eviction ban is set to be lifted in Illinois. So will this assistance be able to keep people afloat as possible evictions come back online? Joining us to help answer that and more are Carol Oshana, a real estate lawyer who works with landlords, and Michelle Gilbert, Legal and Policy Director with Lawyers Committee for Better Housing. Welcome both of you to Chicago Tonight. First of you, Michelle, how impactful can this latest round of rental assistance be for Chicagoans?
Well, I really think that this rental assistance is the key, not only in preventing evictions, but preventing the effects that these evictions will have, or the effect that the debt will have long term, not just on the landlords and tenants, but on the economy generally. And it is a very good chunk of money. It's all federal money. The city and the state are administering rental assistance funds right now that Chicago residents are eligible for. And I think that it really will make a difference.
And as you see there on our graphic, the deadline to apply for this program is June 8th. Carol, you've worked on some county assistance. There's been state and county and city assistance coming. You've worked with landlords on getting assistance. What has that experience been like?
It's difficult. You have to have a lot of information that some landlords may not have. So for example, of course you have to have written leases, and sometimes they don't have written leases. Sometimes they don't have the tenant's phone number or email, and oftentimes that's the case because one tenant left and another tenant moved in, like it was a roommate or whoever the person was, and the landlord has no idea who this person is, and the person won't call, they won't answer the door, they won't give away their phone number, they won't give away an email, they refuse to sign things. So it hasn't really been seamless, to be honest. And it's for people that don't speak English very well, it's also a little difficult.
So there can be a lot of snags in applying and getting this assistance. Michelle, this current round of assistance, go ahead. You could, if you want to jump in.
I'm really glad to, that county has, because the county opened its program first, and it has an ongoing dashboard. And it is actually, it reports that as of today, it's committed $24 million in rental assistance. So, I mean, that's a pretty great accomplishment, and that's just for suburban clubs.
All right, Michelle, in this latest round from Chicago, there are no upper limits on the grant. Why is that important?
Well, in the past rounds of rental assistance, to expedite getting the money out, the funders provided a flat amount. So in the fall, IDA did $5,000, which was really good. You know, landlords and tenants needed that money, but it doesn't quite satisfy the need. So I was very happy that both the Illinois Housing Development Authority and the Chicago Department of Housing listened to comments from advocates, landlords and tenants, and are making, here with this 2021 money, are making specific grants in the amounts that the landlords and tenants need to satisfy the obligation. So this should pay off the rent that is due. And as you indicated at the beginning, also will pay 3 months going forward to really bring housing stability to the market.
All right, so Carol, as we mentioned at the top, I mean, it's been a tough year plus for renters, but that also means a tough year and change for landlords that depend on rental income to pay their mortgages or other bills that they have. Could you just tell us the scope of the situation right now for homeowners, landlords, building owners?
Well, in my experience, the people that are suffering the most are the ones that are living in lower economic areas of Chicago. At least that's been my experience. Most of my phone calls are from areas on the south and west side where rents are pretty inexpensive, but relatively speaking, of course. But the people that are either unemployed or they are working, but they don't want to pay because they don't really care because they're.
So have you run into a lot of landlords saying that they believe people can pay but they're not?
Oh yeah, lots. I have one lady who bought a Mercedes recently. She hasn't paid rent since April.
All right. Well, Michelle, you want to jump in? That's not to minimize the very real pain that we'd assume most renters are going through right now.
Right. I mean, I have no doubt that somebody can find one example of somebody who has abused this process. I mean, there were US senators who traded on inside information. Anything is possible. But I'm part of the Cook County Legal Aid for Housing and Debt, and we're in eviction court every day talking to our office, talking to tenants who don't otherwise have representation. We've defended a number of these. So landlords who believe that their tenants have not properly filed a declaration can file a motion to challenge that. And I'm really happy to report that we have had very good success in defending those motions. Usually the facts are heartbreaking about people who have lost their jobs, tenants who paid their rent consistently. And then this has happened. People have had to quit their jobs because their children were being educated remotely, or people who lost their jobs and made attempts to pay with the stimulus payments, and then just have reached this situation where they have no other resources.
All right. So Carol, with this latest round of assistance from the city, obviously it's not just in the renters' interest if they're struggling to get these funds, but also the landlord interest. Do you anticipate helping them help renters apply for this?
Oh yeah, landlords will do it. They'll run. They definitely want it. I haven't, but of course the ones calling me are calling me saying the tenants are not helping. And the problem with the assistance program is that a tenant can apply, and even if the landlord does not respond, they're still eligible. But the reverse is not true. If a landlord applies and the tenant does not participate, the landlord is not eligible.
So a potential snag there to work out. Carol, once this eviction moratorium is lifted, we expect in August, what do you anticipate, even with these rounds of assistance? Could there be a lot of activity in eviction court?
Yeah, there will. I think a lot of it is going to be people moving out of the apartment and going to another one because, again, if you're calling me, you probably have a tenant that can pay. Usually people are not calling me to complain about somebody who's broke because they know they have nowhere to go.
And I'm sorry, Carol, we just have a couple of seconds. I wanted to get Michelle in on that too. What are you worried about what happens in August?
I think that there will be dislocation, but I don't think that we're going to see the natural disaster that we have feared all along.
All right.
I think that the rental assistance is going to make the difference.
All right, we're gonna keep following this, and our thanks to both of you for being here and explaining this for us. Carol Oshana, Michelle Gilbert, thank you so much.
Thank you.